I'm here to bring you your weekly flow, and today we're going to take a little sampler of what you might find in a yoga plus strength class. So you'll see I have 2 dumbbells on either side of my mat here, and today I'm using 5 pounds. I recommend anything from 3 to 8 depending on how much you feel like you normally do strength exercises. Maybe start nice and low, get a feel for what it's like to get into some of these shapes with the weights and into some exercises, and then you can adjust from there. So we'll start today just standing at the top of your mat, letting your shoulders soften, finding a place where it feels like your feet are stable, and just close your eyes. Getting settled into your breath here. As you seal off your lips, take your breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Using a little force to draw that breath in and to squeeze it out. Feels intentional, it feels strong, finding a pace that works for you. As you breathe in, open your eyes. We're going to start with a simple sun A. Inhale, arms stretch up overhead. Exhale, right hand takes your left wrist up and over for a side body stretch. Breathe in, come up to center. Exhale, left hand pulls the right wrist up and over, side body stretch. Inhale, back to mountain. And exhale, find a back bend. Elbows draw out, chest rises. Breathe in, mountain pose. Exhale, fold, hinge at your hips. Take a breath in, lift halfway, find your flat back. Exhale, hands to the mat, step your feet back, coming into a high plank. From here, we're gonna come into a vinyasa. If this is not familiar to you, just meet us in downward dog. Otherwise, shift forward on your toes. Exhale, lower halfway down, chaturanga. Flip to the tops of your feet. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, toes tuck under, hip shift back, downward dog. Take a big breath in and out, looking back between your legs. And then bend your knees, look forward, walk it back up to the top of your mat. Inhale to a halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, folds. Inhale, rise up, mountain pose. Exhale, your side bend up and over to the right. Take it back through center. Exhale, over to the left. Inhale back to mountain, and then exhale to your back bend. Breathe in, rise up. Exhale, forward fold. Reset at the bottom with a halfway lift. We'll take one more pass through that vinyasa here, stepping back to a high plank. Exhale to lower halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Taking a few breaths here. Just to pause and reset. And then bend your knees, look forward, step it back up to the top of your mat. Inhale, find your halfway lift, lengthen hips to head. Exhale, fold and release. Breathe in, rise all the way up, mountain pose, and exhale your hands through heart center and down by your sides. Taking a few breaths to pause here. So now we're gonna come into what will be our modified Sun B, our flow today. We would normally warm up a little bit more in our actual class, but today we're gonna take it just through one round to get through the movements with your body, and then we'll see how it feels with the weights. So from here, sit your hips heavy, breathe in, chair pose. So imagine that invisible chair is behind you, sitting nice and low, finding an active reach through your fingertips. And then exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Shift the weight over to your right foot as you step your left foot straight back. Inhale, we'll take the arms overhead, crescent lunge, shoulder blades soften. And then exhale, spin your left heel down to the floor, open your arms to a T for warrior 2. Gazing forward over your right middle finger. Inhale to reverse your warrior. So right palm flips to the sky. As you breathe in, reach up and back. The left hand just rests gently on your leg. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down to frame your right foot. Left heel pivots, big step back. Option for the vinyasa or to meet us in downward facing dog. From here, bend your knees, look forward. Take it up to the top of your mat. Breathe in, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, mountain pose. Exhale, hands to heart center. From here, we'll sink the hips. Breathe in, chair pose, that active reach. And then this time, as you bring your hands to heart center, weight into your left foot, right foot travels back. We'll breathe in to find crescent lunge, shoulders soften, shoulders stacked over hips. And then exhale, anchor your right heel, right toes turn open as you open the arms, warrior 2. Left palm to the sky. Inhale, reverse, reach it up and back. And then exhale, take the hands back down. Step back, your option for the vinyasa or to skip it, downward dog. Couple breaths here. Bend your knees, look forward, travel to the top of your mat. Reset with a halfway lift, breathe in, exhale, let it go. This time grab your weights. So go ahead and just bring your weights up to heart center as you sit into your chair pose. So think of letting the hips shift back, weight is on your heels as we settle in. And then from here today, we're gonna take the weights and rack them up to the shoulders. So you'll have your elbows right under your wrists, nice strong grip on the weights. And we're just gonna pulse a few times in our chair pose. Pulse, pulse, and then we're gonna step the left foot back and push the arms overhead into our lunge. Good, let's bring the weights back down. Step that left foot forward. Pulse, pulse. Right foot steps back into the lunge. We're gonna speed that up. Bring the weights together, back to your shoulders, feet together. Pulse, pulse. Left foot steps back to the lunge. Step forward, pulse, pulse. Right foot steps back to the lunge. Pulse, pulse, step. Pulse, pulse. Take it back and press. One more on each side. Pulse, pulse, step and press. Now we're gonna hold the lunge here. So with your left foot forward and your right foot back, breathe in to your crescent lunge. So those weights are up overhead. Exhale, bring your hands down through heart center. Spin your right heel to the mat. Open your arms up, warrior two. So I always bring the weights transitioning through heart center and then pressing back away from the body. We'll do the same thing as we come to our reverse warrior. So weights draw in. Inhale, front arm reaches up, back hand rests on your thigh. And then exhale, hands to heart center. We're gonna pivot forward, that back heel lifts as we get set up for our first strength movement, a row. So, your left leg forward, left forearm comes to your thigh. You can either keep one weight in that left hand and use your right arm for this elbow pull back, this row, or you can bring both hand weights into your hands. So depending on how light your weights are, you might need both to have enough resistance. We're just gonna settle in here, one long line back heel to the crown of your head as you row. Pulling back and then extending your arm. We're gonna go another 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Carefully bringing one weight back into each hand, bringing your weights to heart center. From here, I'm gonna take a big step to the top of my mat, coming up to a stand. So I was just on that left foot forward. I'm gonna give that left foot a break. Bring it all the way over to your right side. Left heel is gonna kickstand or come all the way up to your calf for tree pose. With your weights together, go ahead and press them up overhead. We're coming to a tricep extension. So bending your elbows to let your hands drop behind your head and then pressing straight up. Elbows stay hugging in so they're not flaring out as we get that tricep extension, that press. Here for 6, 5, 4, 3, last 2, last 1. Weights come back down and down by your sides. Now I'm gonna take this right foot, stay on my right foot as I bring my left knee now forward to a one-legged mountain. So you could take this with your toes, just kickstand it out ahead of you, but we're keeping the weight over on the right side. So from here, from my one-legged mountain, I'm gonna take a bicep curl up and then bring the weights down. Carefully coming to a single leg deadlift. So flipping my palms to face behind me, left foot kicks back as you hinge forward and then rise back up, left knee comes forward, palms face forward, bicep curl, flip the palms, kick back, hinge. It would be like a warrior 3, that T shape in your body, and then rise back up, knee comes forward. Curl and take it back. For the sake of time today, we're gonna take just one more here, curl, and then kick back. Rising back up, and then go ahead and set it down, shake your legs off. We'll get set up for the second side. So starting back in your chair pose with the weights racked up. So we're starting here, wrists over elbows, sinking down for that double pulse, step back, lunge, and press. So when you're ready, pulse, pulse, one foot steps back as we press. Pulse, pulse, step back, press. Pulse, pulse, strong lunge. Pulse, pulse, strong lunge. Good, we're gonna get a few more here. And last time, we we landed with the left foot forward. So this time you're gonna land the next time you're in that lunge with the right foot forward. Holding here in your crescent lunge, taking a breath in, and then exhale the weights down through heart center as you spin that left heel down, toes turn open. Warrior two on the breath out, sinking in. Hands through heart center. Breathe in to reverse your warrior. Right arm reaches up, left hand rests along the back side. And then exhale, hands through heart as you pivot that back foot, hinging forward. Right elbow to your right thigh. Option to hold one weight there as you find your row, or bring both weights into that left hand. We're pulling here for another 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bringing the weights back, one in each hand. Slowly coming back, weights to heart center as you step forward. Good, so all the pressure was on that right foot. We're gonna shift the weight now over to the left foot. Give the right foot a break with that kickstand. We're coming all the way up into your tree foot to calf. With the weights pressing together, take them up overhead for our tricep extension. Keeping the upper arms exactly as they are, just bending the elbows to drop the hands behind, and then pressing those weights up, pinkies forward. Good, we're here for 6, 5, working on the back of those upper arms. Last 3, 2, and 1. Good, bring the weights back down, arms by your sides. Coming to our one-legged mountain, so right toes can kickstand, or right knee comes all the way out in front, foot is flexed. We're gonna take one bicep curl, palms flip at the bottom so your palms are facing back, right foot kicks back into our single leg deadlift or your warrior 3 shape. Come back up, one-legged, take the bicep curl, kicking back, single leg, up, and curl. So we're always adjusting the amount of bend in that standing knee to keep the control. This will be our last one, bicep curl. Take it back, slowly coming back up, set the foot down. Go ahead and sink to chair, set your weights down. Take a breath into your pose, active reach. Exhale, forward fold. Breathe in to a halfway lift. And then exhale as you fold, bend your knees, have a seat. We'll get a quick stretch here. We'll keep the legs long today, coming into a seated forward fold. Big breath in, reach and rise. Exhale, let it go. Get a few deep sighs out through the mouth, letting some of that heat, some of that energy go. Notice how we build in pretty quickly, even in a short practice. Getting maybe a little sweat today. So just check in with how you're feeling, with how you might adjust your weights in the future, or what modifications might serve you in this practice. Take one more slow breath. And walk your hands back in, returning to your seat. Thank you for being here today to try something a little more active and intense, and I hope you'll come join me in class soon.